So we got about 300 companies making their case. Most of them are against the tariffs. Not all, but most of them are. How would you make the case to those who are against the tariffs that it is in our best interest to have tariffs against China?
Well, support the country that supported them. I would make the case to them that they should move their supply chains back to the United States, back to the Western Hemisphere. If you outsource these jobs, which they did beginning 20, 30 years ago, they're also outsourcing their consumers. People are earning less. They can't afford to buy the products that they're trying to sell. Incomes are dropping. So, look, these are the same companies that moved to China 20, 30 years ago. They made a bad business decision. How hard was it to build a global supply chain in the Maoist era in China? It was hard. They can build a supply chain again back in the United States, back in the Western Hemisphere. If they start employing people in the United States, or perhaps even in Honduras and El Salvador, that'll solve a host of problems that we're facing right now.
I don't think you can really say it was a bad business decision, except for this, that they all concentrated their outsourcing in one country that was held to be unreliable and definitely not a friend of the United States. Instead of going to Turkey and Mexico, they did partly that, truly, and other countries like Thailand and Vietnam, which they're doing now. But it seems to me they kind of put all their eggs in one basket, right? But here's what I would like to say. The letter that all those companies wrote to President Trump, they all said, oh, we agree with trying to do this. We think you're on the right track. Just don't use tariffs. But they don't really come up with an alternative way of making China level the playing field. I mean, what is the thinking there?
Well, that's exactly right. They're very quick to point out what you shouldn't do.
Right.
It's unilateral disarmament. I hear the tapping of Neville Chamberlain's umbrella on the cobblestones of Munich. I mean, everybody agrees China's a bad actor. It's a hostile country.
Right.
Maybe they'll even interfere in our election to help Joe Biden win. Who knows? But seriously, they are a threat to our way of life, to free markets, free enterprise. And nobody's suggesting what to do. Tariffs are bad. We can't do this. We can't do that. But you're right, Liz. They're not telling us what we should do.
One answer would be to treat the theft of intellectual property the same way that the theft of, say, intellectual property when it comes to Gucci handbags is treated. That when a shipment of illegal counterfeit Gucci handbags come into the country, it is confiscated and those who peddle it are arrested. I mean, look, you guys have come up with every excuse to rationalize what our taxes. I know you don't like to admit it, Peter, and Varno doesn't like to admit it. These taxes are
these are optional taxes. If you don't want to pay the tax, don't buy China.
Taxes. Well, you know, listen to the innumerable hundreds, literally, of American manufacturers. You know, they employ a lot of people, too, who are saying that this is going to cost our bottom line a lot of money. And I'll just say
they're willing to pay that bottom line to save our way of life. I met some of these manufacturers in Ohio last week.
The same conservatives who said that you shouldn't be forced to buy Obamacare are now saying, oh, no, but you should be forced to buy American. It's a real insult to freedom and your choice as an American to buy what you want to better your life.
Also, Curtis, I mean, you sound remarkably like someone in the 1950s talking about the red peril that's going to sweep across the nation. There was a challenge from the Soviet Union. There was no domestic red peril. China does not represent a threat to our domestic way of life.
They do have a domestic red peril. It's called the Fortune 50. It's called the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. They're the fifth column right now.
Oh, okay,
they're doing the lobbying of China.
You are totally entitled to your point of view, but a rhetoric of saying that this is a threat to our way of life does not make it so. And New Balance, by the way, let me finish.
Okay.
New Balance, which has committed itself to manufacturing in Maine. They are a domestic American manufacturer that is one of the few bright spots of the Maine economy. They are saying, look, we live in a world of global supply chains. You cannot just go to Thailand and Honduras and Turkey and not include one of the largest economies in the world. And to rebuild those supply chains is going to cost you way more than the $50 billion that Americans might pay in taxes. You want to rebuild supply chains? Absolutely. Raise tariffs 200%. And then do a $1 trillion spending plan that helps manufacturers rebuild it. And then I might start agreeing with you. But tariffs at $50 billion relative to the capital spending costs that a company like New Balance has to do to totally reshore supply chains, forget it. It doesn't add up.
Well, it will take time to rebuild the supply chains. In the meantime, they can apply for exemptions and exclusions
from the
tariffs.
Which they won't get.
Well, how do you know that?
And there's your cronyism. There's that central planning.
Jonathan, you're making the old arguments of a libertarian, and these libertarian arguments don't hold up because the entire theory of free trade doesn't hold up, because the entire theory of free trade is based on things that have been proven untrue. Capital is mobile.
Oh, really?
Yes, capital is mobile.
Curtis,
people can move factories. factories, and David Ricardo based his entire theory on the assumption that no one would invest their capital outside of the country of birth because they didn't trust it to be in a foreign country. We now see that people are investing their capital all over the world. So the factors of production are mobile, which they weren't in 1803 when Ricky Ricardo made up his little theory. So your little theories and your Tinker Toy econometric models are based on false
Without
premises.
the insults, Gary, go ahead.
Yeah, we were told that tariffs were a tactic. And all I know is it's like 15 months later, and here's a little scoreboard. The farmers got killed. The president gave the farmers $28 billion from the Commodity Credit Corp, which is basically taxpayer money. Now we have maybe additional, and you have very good business people saying you can't do this or we may have to close shop. It's going to cost money. It's going to cost consumers. At what more cost do we get to the point where we say the tactic is no longer working? We have to do something else because China is taking the middle finger and sticking it back at us.
No, the tactic is working. China's at the negotiating table. Mexico decided it would use its territory as a wall to stop the Central American migrants. And these great business people are the same people who told us if we invest in China back in 2000, it will become a democracy, just like Norway and Sweden, and they won't be militarized and they won't be stealing from us. Well, they were wrong then, and they're wrong now.
Curtis, you're our guest. You get the last word. Great to see you. Thank you for coming in again.